Hi and welcome along to World Cup Daily, the show that takes a look at World Cup and Arsenal news. Yet again yesterday, I keep saying it every single day, I'm like a broken record now, but two more fantastic games in the World Cup. Listen, we cannot be disappointed at all with this World Cup because most of the games have been fantastic, and yesterday was no exception. Germany going through in the late game against Algeria, beating them 2-1, but I'll tell you what, Algeria, you've got to take your hats off to them. Just like Costa Rica the other day as the Minnows, they played absolutely brilliantly, definitely had Germany really frightened at times. And, you know, if they would have had maybe some better quality up front, could possibly have taken that game against Germany yesterday because they created loads of chances in the first half. But then Germany, as Germany do, they came back strong. They had that extra bit of quality in players like Müller, and they pulled it out of the bag. And it was great to see Mesut Ozil scoring the winning goal for Germany. Didn't have the greatest of games, was a bit on the periphery of the game, but he was there, he propped up with the winning goal for Germany that sends them through. And it was great to see Ozil getting on the score sheet there yesterday. But Germany will have to do better in the next game because they're going to come up against France. France, who dispatched of Nigeria 2-0. Again, a very close game. Nigeria did very well in that game, especially in the first half. But then, once again, the class of France told, and France are through with goals from Pogba and Griezmann, and they're looking good, France. And those two are going to play in the quarterfinals, and that is going to be some matchup. I mean, to me, Germany, they can't play that high line that I saw them playing yesterday against France. Mertesacker, we know he's not the quickest, was getting caught out quite a few times, and Manuel Neuer, the goalkeeper, was literally playing like a centre half in that game, having to come and recover things. But that's the way Germany play, and they are through to the next round, and that's going to be really exciting. Germany versus France. A lot of Arsenal players involved in that game. 3 on the Germany side, and of course 2 on, or should I say 3 if you count Sanya, right? On the side of France. So that's going to be a really, really interesting game, and looking forward to that. Other World Cup news yesterday, on the more negative side, or some may say positive, Luis Suarez coming out with an apology at last after days of everybody defending him, the Uruguay president calling people fascists and accusing FIFA of this, and the manager accusing the British media of this and that. Now Suarez has finally got it. There's no point in denying it. He tried to deny it a couple of days ago, said he fell over and his teeth hit Chiellini. He's finally admitted that he did bite him, and he's admitted his punishment, and that's what he should have done right from the start. But he's admitted it now, said he'll never ever do it again. There's a lot of people out there being very cynical about this and saying that they believe that Suarez has only said this because he wants to get that move to Barcelona, and this is a way of smoothing it. So his advisors would probably have said, listen, we're going to have to get this over and done with first before we can get any moves sorted out. And the rumour has it that the whole statement had nothing to do with Liverpool. So that again tells me that he's trying to look for that move away. Of course, Barcelona very, very interested in bringing him in. And listen, I've said it before, you know, I believe that that punishment is absolutely deserved for Luis Suarez. If you ask me, he's lucky that he didn't get any more. And we just can't have this in football, players biting each other. I mean, it's just so low. I remember it's not once or twice, 3 times. And as I said the other day in a video, I think we dodged a bullet by not signing this guy. I noticed in the comments a lot of people didn't agree with me, and that's fair play. A lot of people would still have Suarez. I just think he's a liability. I think he even if we hadn't signed him last season, he'd probably be trying to get a move away to Barcelona this season. So, listen, he's not the only player in the world, and despite Suarez, they didn't win the league, did they? And the other sort of sour note from yesterday is the Cameroon team being accused of match fixing. Apparently there's a match fixer or convicted match fixer in Germany who correctly predicted their scoreline against Croatia, that it'd be 4-0 and that they'd have a man sent off. And it's raised a lot of questions. The Cameroon Football Association are investigating, FIFA investigating, and it's very sad. I hope it's not true. But mind you, the way that Alex Song got sent off in that game, the most ridiculous sending off I've ever seen. You've got to think to yourself, there could be something in this. And if there is something in this, they should be thrown out. They should get the same sort of ban that you've seen Suarez get recently. I mean, they've really embarrassed African football, Cameroon, refusing to get on the plane before they came, arguing amongst each other, players like Akoto of Tottenham headbutting his fellow players. I mean, they, unlike the other two African countries that went out yesterday in Algeria and Nigeria, they really did disgrace, I think, African football. And I'm hoping that these rumours are not true. But if they are true, if they are proved to be true, those players need to be banned for a very, very long time. Let's get into the news, the transfer news. It's been put out there and rumoured out there today that Angel Di Maria, he wants to leave Real Madrid. Now, his future's been uncertain. It seems amazing. I mean, these clubs, I think they've got so many super players sometimes that they just don't know what to do with them. Di Maria has been excellent for Madrid. He was one of the stars of the Champions League final, which they won last year. Now, they are willing to sell. They are willing to sell Di Maria. It looks like Real Madrid, they want to bring in, they do it yearly, and they want to bring in a Galactico. They're not keen on Luis Suarez, but they are keen on James Rodriguez from Monaco. Now, Monaco paid £45 million for him, so to get him away from Monaco, they're going to have to pay a load of money. There's financial fair play, and it might be like last year where they had to let go Ozil so that they could go and get the Bale deal done. Well, it looks like they're willing to let go Di Maria. Now, he's been linked with Arsenal. I think he'd be absolutely brilliant for Arsenal. Although, looking at Griezmann again yesterday for the French international, another player has been linked in that sort of left-sided position. Listen, either of those two I'd love at Arsenal, but Di Maria is proven quality. Again, he's played in the Champions League, plays for Argentina. He plays at the highest level, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's a world-class player. They're saying that it will cost about £40 million. Arsenal have been interested. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to rekindle their interest in Di Maria. But I think if they could pull off something like that, that would be a major signing. But it does look like he will be on the move this summer. Manchester United apparently also interested in him, and there's not going to be loads of clubs that are going to have the amount of money to sign him. He won't go to another club in Spain, so it's probably going to be England or France or Italy where he ends up. And that sort of price tag, it's more likely to be either England or France where he goes. So Angel Di Maria, look out for those rumours. They're going to probably start hotting up over the next few days. Another rumour today, Keylor Navas, who's the goalkeeper for Costa Rica, 27 years of age. You saw him the other night in the penalty shootout, done really well. Also, is a very good goalkeeper. Looking at him in the tournament, he's done really, really well. He's experienced international, plays for Levante in La Liga, and he's a target apparently for Arsenal. Arsenal are interested in him. Of course, we need a goalkeeper. And he's also interested in Atletico Madrid. Now, whether he'd want to come to the English League or stay in La Liga is up for debate. Me personally, I still think I'd like to see maybe a goalkeeper who's got Premier League experience already coming in as that sort of backup keeper to Szczesny. But Navas has been linked. Keylor Navas, the Costa Rican keeper. Other rumours today affecting Arsenal is the Thomas Vermaelen thing. Now, we know that Manchester United made a bid for Thomas Vermaelen of about £6 million. That was turned down by Arsenal. Arsenal said that they want to keep Vermaelen. They don't want to lose him. But apparently Manchester United are about to come back in with another offer. All right, so that Manchester United are very, very keen on making this happen. Vermaelen's kept very quiet on the whole subject, saying he's concentrating on playing his football for Belgium in the World Cup. Again, listen, we can't discount this rumour because, as I said last week, he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so he does hold a lot of the cards, and it is going to be probably going to boil down to whether Vermaelen wants to leave or not, more than whether we want to keep him. And another player that's been heavily linked with Arsenal for weeks and weeks and weeks now, even before the World Cup started, Last week as well, a lot of people was putting it out there saying it's been a done deal. Then I've been told that it's not a done deal. Arsenal not really interested in him because he's too young and they want a more mature player in that position. And that is Serge Aurier. Now, to me, one of the best right-backs so far that we've seen in this World Cup. He's been brilliant. I've loved his energy. His crossing of the ball's been brilliant. Maybe defensively could be a bit better, needs to improve, but as a young player, he's definitely a hot prospect, and he can also play in the centre-half position. Rumours having it today that Tottenham Hotspurs, them lot down the road, are trying to get in on the deal, and they're trying to get Aurier in. They're worried about Kyle Walker, so they're trying to get in Aurier at Spurs. So that's another player that Spurs are trying to hijack. They're trying to hijack the Loic Remy thing. Now they're apparently trying to move for Aurier. Or do Arsenal even want Aurier? Because I would have thought that would have been a deal that could have been announced already. He's so keen to come to Arsenal, but we're going to have to wait and see. I would like to see Aurier. The other player, of course, who's been rumoured to be coming in that right back position, and rumours are getting heavier and heavier as the day goes by, and that's Debuchy. We saw him playing yesterday for France. Again, another right back who's very good coming forward, but again, defensively, sometimes a bit iffy. Now, if I had to choose between the two, I think I'd go for the younger, fresher Aurier, for him to battle it out with Jenkinson. That would be my preferred option. But Debuchy, of course, is a very experienced French international, and maybe that might swing it for Arsene Wenger, because, as I said before, the rumours that I'd heard was that they like Aurier, but they want a sort of more mature right back to come in that position. And Debuchy, of course, being older, I think he's about 27, 28, fits that bill and is an experienced player. Games today to look out for, the two games, Argentina versus Switzerland. It's going to be, a tough day for De Giroud trying to contain Lionel Messi there. And also Belgium versus the USA. And I'll tell you what, I've got a sneaking feeling for the USA tonight. I don't know what it is. Belgium haven't been at their best, and the USA are a very, very difficult team to break down. And I fancy that. I fancy some extra time in that game, and I fancy USA getting through. I'm going to go Argentina. I think they'll win that on about 3-1. But in the other game, I don't know. I can't give you the exact score, but I'm going to go for the USA to pull off an upset. We've seen already how well some of these so-called, calling USA small, so-called smaller or lesser nations in football ability have been playing. I'll tell you what, the standard has been so high, and those teams they're catching right up. Let's just get into a few of your comments before we leave out. Yimoko said France should have won easily, but they didn't win easily, and I thought Nigeria gave them a very good test. Daz SD says David Luiz was 50 million, Shaw 34 million, and both are not even that good. So don't you think 40 million pounds for Di Maria is cheap? And he will give us way more. Listen, I think Di Maria will be an excellent signing. I think he's worth 40 million in the current market, definitely. Listen, I wouldn't be against that. He's a world-class player. Penjis says Khedira being linked for 23 million, that's a steal. What's your thoughts, Robbie? I was watching Khedira yesterday when he came on. Of course, he's had a bad injury last season, but he looks to have got over that. Brilliant holding midfielder. If you noticed yesterday, he even dropped in and played centre-half, which was very interesting for me. Played well in the centre-half position, and again, that's a good option for Arsenal, because that means that he's a player that can drop into that position as cover if there's the dreaded injuries that we seem to get a lot at Arsenal. So Sami Khedira for 23 million, I think we need to go out there. If that can happen and he's available, that for me is a no-brainer. They should go out there and bring him in immediately. The Illis says Arsene Wenger better sign someone. I'm losing it, to be honest. I think we're going to see something soon now. It's July the 1st now. The transfer window's officially open. Also, we've all heard about the Puma kit launch, and that's about to, I think it's July the 10th, when that's going to happen. So if this kit launcher is the reason why we haven't seen those signings in, it will happen around then. Listen, you never know with Arsenal. You know what it's like. You know it's awful, always a stressful summer, but they've got to get something done. They've got to get something done. Just going to do a couple more. Let me see. The Master Boy 1 says, match fixing deserves a lifelong ban. It affects every foundations of the game. Actually, you know what? I can't not disagree with you there. I mean, if they did fix that game, the Cameroon players, maybe they should never play again. And as I said, I remember at the time thinking, Song, what are you doing? It's the most ridiculous sending off, running after a player and punching him in the back when he hadn't even done nothing to you. I mean, it's we're going to have to really watch this space on that one. Daz SD says, hey, Robbie, what do you think will happen or should happen if Wenger does not sign anyone or anyone of world class? I do believe that he will sign someone of world class. I'm not worried about that. All I want to know is that I think they need to get on and get something done now. At least one thing done. I know it's not about just appeasing the fans, but you've got a lot of fans that support Arsenal. They're seeing all the other clubs doing all this business, and it would just be nice for the fans to just see a bit of activity from Arsenal instead of seeing our manager out on the beach in Brazil in his Speedos. You know what I mean? We want to see somebody coming in. Roshan says, I'm tired of these rumours. Van Gaal, being Holland's manager, is getting things done compared to Wenger, who's just a commentator. As I said, you don't know what sort of things are being done behind the scenes. I'm sure there's a lot of activity going on behind the scenes because, you know, they know that there are a lot of signers that they need to bring in. And I'm going to leave it with this last one. Taskeen says, hi, Robbie, if Alexis Sanchez comes to Arsenal, what would happen to Walcott? Because they play in the same position. Now, interestingly, I think it wouldn't affect Walcott at all because you could play Alexis Sanchez in a free, all right? So you could interchange those two where they can switch from right to central. So sometimes Walcott can go and play as a centre forward, and sometimes Sanchez can play on the right, and vice versa. And also what I've heard is that if Arsenal were able to bring in Sanchez, they'd like to convert him into an out-and-out centre forward, just like sort of in the similar mould of Luis Suarez. And if you watch how Suarez plays for Liverpool, he doesn't stay in one position. He moves around, and I think it'd be a similar thing that they do with Alexis Sanchez. Listen, Alexis Sanchez, Khedira, Di Maria, if we was able to bring in these quality of players, or even a couple of those, we can have a very, very good season at Arsenal. Thanks for watching World Cup Daily. Again, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be taking a look at the Argentinian game and also Belgium versus USA. And as I said, I've got a sneaking feeling for the USA. I might get embarrassed tomorrow, but I've got a sneaking feeling for them. Let's see what happens. Don't forget, you can go into our match predictor on our app and predict the scores yourself.